Alrighty, lads. So, this article just came out a few hours ago, pretty much explaining a woke film critic accusing of the new Avatar film of being cultural appropriated, claiming white actors are cosplaying people of color. Now, how did we get to this point? You may be wondering. A few days ago, December 16th, 4 days ago, this was what I think kickstarted the little movement we have here. So pretty much Johnny right here, Johnny boy. So in his Twitter post saying every single in focus character here is played by white folks. This is just, it's not red slash blackface if we make them blue, the movie. Such a nasty racist cash grab. And then we scroll down and essentially he's getting roasted to oblivion. Literally the first comment on here from a different person is having a list of all the actors and the characters that they play right here and showing that the actors are indeed not white but are of color. And yet he responds, doesn't change anything I said. I don't understand how they don't have an open mind. He's contradicting himself as there are people of color that are playing in these films. And then we continue on, which is what blew up. This tweet blew up 2 days ago by this lady Ajija Tile Honae, she-her. And her tweet with a thread goes along as, do not watch Avatar: The Way of Water. Join natives and other indigenous groups around the world in boycotting this horrible and racist film. Our cultures were appropriated in a harmful manner to satisfy some white man's savior complex. No more blueface. Lakota people are powerful. Lakota most likely being her indigenous tribe that she's trying to help. No wrong in that. That's respect right there. But the problem is, this film is science fiction. You have 9 foot plus talking blue people, aliens that have that are on this world that is unearthly from us, you know. And she also, I've watched the film, and right here she's saying cultures are appropriate in a harmful manner. This new film, the story wasn't the best as with the first, but the visuals were stunning nonetheless. And the message behind the film was pretty much a father protecting his family. And yet apparently in her eyes it's a harmful manner. Because I guess maybe she's that anti-masculinity. She's in that anti-masculinity movement. And then we continue along with her thread right here, and her having list upon list of how to help, 4 bullet points of saying to not watch the film, others saying to buy merchandise, watch actual movies that are about indigenous groups, and so on and so forth, which isn't wrong. It's good stuff. And then we continue along, and essentially the comments on her post is her getting roasted again, as Johnny was into oblivion. With here's another, the first one of a random guy of Darius. It's a fictional movie. She's getting roasted into oblivion, as we can see right there. Now we get to an article that was about her tweet. So, Avatar 2 faces boycott, calls from activists for native accusations of racism and culture appropriation. An old comment made by James Cameron has also been taken into account to the boycott call for the sci-fi film that allegedly benefits from a white man's savior complex. James Cameron Avatar: Way of Water is in theaters and has made and grossed 300 million internationally, which was the film what debuted around like 425 or 435 million dollars, which was below estimates. I ultimately see that this film will at least break even, maybe even make a little money. But if it's supposed to make $2 billion like James stated, then that ain't happening. But if it's supposed to make maybe like a 1 to 1.5 billion, there's a possibility of that happening. But if it's 2 billion, I don't think that's ever gonna happen in my opinion, in my eyes. And the article continues, like the 2009 film Avatar sequel Primary follows on with the story about colonizers taking over land and their resources from tribes. In the sequel, the colonizers are shown to be humans who require a completely inhabitable planet because Earth's resources are becoming more or less depleted. The filmmaker has been accused of approaching the cultures and histories of various indigenous cultures for the benefit of making a film that features a largely white cast. This last sentence features a largely white cast. Well, I decided to Google the cast, and we'll see, is it largely white? Okay, we have the main character in the film, Jake Sully, played by Sam. Okay, he's white. Then we have Zoe Saldana playing Tiri. I don't think she's white. Look, we have Cliff Curtis. We have Una Chaplin, Trinity Bliss. I don't think Michelle Rodriguez is in the film, but she is. I don't recall her being in it, but there's Michelle Rodriguez. Philip Geljo, Bailey Bass. And you have all these other actors down here that are also in the film playing minor character roles. And I don't think this is a white man's film. It's pretty diverse if you ask me, which again we go to here. So, woke film critic on this article's title is mocked for accusing Avatar: The Way of Water of cultural appropriation, claiming white actors are cosplaying people of color. So, this critic is no other than Kathia Woods, and this was based on her tweet. So, a freelance film critic has been mercilessly mocked for accusing Avatar: The Way of Water of cultural appropriation, claiming director James Cameron only cast white actors to cosplay as aliens of color in the blockbuster hit. And as I just showed you, it's not just white characters, it's diverse group of actors. Article continues. Freelance film critic Kathia Woods has contributed to BuzzFeed News, and the Philadelphia Tribune made the comments on Twitter. So this is what she was saying. Quote, at some point we gotta talk about the cultural appropriation of Avatar and white actors are cosplaying as a person of color. It's just a mess and so not necessary, and no amount of visual effects or CGI is gonna erase that. Bad lace fronts / dry synthetic braids. Jesus, fix it, Kathia Woods said. Once again, film is based on science fiction for 9-foot talking blue aliens, essentially. And yeah, they're acting as if this is based on real life when it's not. This movie, as I said, the story is based on a father protecting his son, at least in the second film. But people go to theaters to watch this movie to escape the real world. They want to immerse themselves into the world of Pandora because of how beautiful it looks. That's the thing. And even if we go back to the tweet of Johnny, you go down, or wasn't Johnny, my bad, Aja. We go down, James Cameron's taken into account how real world examples of indigenous groups and how they dress. He's taken account into that as well with the race of the Na'vi and how they dress. It does baffle me. And then and then of her posting that Twitter post, she has now made her Twitter account private because of all the scrutiny and backlash that she's gotten. And the article at the very end, right here, this was pretty funny. James Cameron didn't even try to find native blue people to play these roles. Shake my head, joked Free Beacon reporter Andrew Kerr. That made me laugh. Oh, and there's even more. Only 9-foot tall blue aliens can play 9-foot tall blue aliens in movies, apparently, joked Radio's Dan O'Donnell. Just showing how stupid these people are when it comes to just trying to bash their agenda into what is not supposed to be. You know what I mean? The agenda is not supposed to be pushed in every single thing because it won't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But anyways, I hope and thank you for watching this video. I hope you all have a good day. And I hope that you subscribe and stick around. And I shall continue with these vids.